Hi, comic book fans, and welcome to another suddenlycomics.com video. It's a Monday night, it's the price variance, and as usual, I'm joined by Alan. We are going to go through the Key Collector top 10 trending comics or hot comics. We are following fast on the heels of Comic Tom, who only did this less than 24 hours ago, but we are going to get our opinions, and we're much better looking than Comic Tom. Okay, so we've done the first five on the list on Alan's channel. So once you've watched this, head over to Alan's channel. There's a link in the comments below, and you can watch the first five on Alan's channel. But here we go. I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to pick that one there. There we go. So this is
what's next.
This is what's next. So we are going to be looking at the first one we're going to be talking about is Hulk 1. It's the Red Hulk. So Alan, what do you reckon to this one? Oh, yes. And so we're going to be saying
we know that this is happening.
These are flip, collect, or forget is the criteria that we're using here.
Yeah,
so five, Alan and I didn't agree very much.
This one is a flip for me.
A flip, okay.
And the reason I'd say it's a flip is I wouldn't flip it quite yet. I'd wait for the trailer to pop. But we know that this character is happening. This is happening.
Oh, well, Harrison Ford has been cast.
Harrison Ford is the Red Hulk.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
what's his name? General
what's it called? Ross.
General Ross.
Yeah. Does it even say that in here? No.
Yeah,
oh, yeah, it does. Yeah,
General Thunderbolt Ross.
Yeah.
The guy gets the Thunderbolts together, isn't he?
Yeah. So we know that the Thunderbolts are happening too. So this book has I think it's going to be one of those books where it goes up a little bit more when a trailer drops, and then everybody's going to dump their books. And it's going to be because it's not a hard book to find.
2008, so it's a modern book.
Yeah. It just is a freedom of information or whatever. I paid $15 for this, and it's on a high grade. It's probably like a 9.8.
Yeah, I bought this a couple of years ago, similar.
Yeah.
I paid 20.
So $15 is kind of my price range on this book in my mind, how much it's worth.
Well, it says mid-grade raw $20, you know.
Well, I paid high, I got a high grade copy. Mine's easily a 9.8.
Oh, mine's pretty high grade as well, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I think you can still pick it up probably in $50 range, maybe for a high grade raw.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if a 9.8 sells for $370, I would just pick up a high grade raw and then get it graded. And by the time the trailer pops, you can flip it for big money.
Yeah, so you could do that. I actually quite like this cover.
I like the cover. I'm not saying it's
so for me, because I like the cover, I hang on to it.
Well, my point is you can flip it when all this stuff goes down, and then buy it again afterwards. It'll be back down to that price before. So yeah, I just don't see it as holding value. I don't believe in this book that much.
Yeah.
So that's why I think
it's getting a bit old to be wearing a Hulk suit.
Yeah. So how many movies can he make, really? I mean, is he 80 years old?
I don't know. He's getting on a bit, isn't he? He looks his age as well.
Yeah. And you know what's funny? They always try to de-age the actors. They do that, right? But for some reason, the way people move, you can't de-age that. They move like they're 80 years old.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. So yeah, I don't think
we may get a third. We may have to have a third actor playing General Thunderbolt Ross.
Yeah. So I don't see this one as having that many movies if it's going to be him doing it. But yeah, I think once a trailer drops, that's a good time to drop this book.
Yeah. I don't disagree with that.
Okay, that's my thought on it.
Okay, next up, Century One, first appearance of the century, first
Hmm.
appearance of the void, the dark aspect of the century. This is a
Hmm.
comic from 2000 from 2000. Uh,
Yep,
I not got this, and I don't know anything.
I have it. Yeah.
Tell us about it, Alan. Why is it on this list?
So again, the Century is another like it's like a major antagonist to the Thunderbolts. Since we're getting the Thunderbolts, we're getting the Century. Century is kind of like their version of Superman,
Okay,
like MCU version of Superman, right?
yeah,
But evil Superman, sorry, dark Superman.
Dark Soup.
Um, so yeah, so it's a character that definitely could appear in a movie. So it was always an affordable book.
Yeah,
Again, I think I paid $10 to $15 for this book.
it's a nice
That's
cover.
Yeah, it's actually kind of cool. Mine's actually I paid $10 to $15 and mine's signed as well by the artist.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So personally I think this is like another book that doesn't have long-term hold value.
No,
It's not going to be like a big book that people are going to be like 50 years from now, oh, I got, the first century. I don't think it's got that long-term hold. It's more of that, something news comes out, something major comes out.
yeah. The
There's
other thing,
rumors right now,
yeah,
but if some news comes out, then it'll be a hot book.
yeah.
Or
And
or
the other thing I'm
even
a bit worried about, Alan, is that lots of people now will be sending their copies of this into CGC for grading.
yeah, I think
And
so.
suddenly
I
the
think so.
market will get
And
flooded with these.
and it's not one that is that rare.
No,
It's so I'd say, it's a good time to flip. good good flip book.
yeah, flip for me, flip.
Whenever something's on the hot list, usually that's a signal to flip it.
Yeah, true. Okay, next up we have got Avengers 144. I've not this is a new one on me. So
I have this
apparently
one as well.
you have this one as well. I haven't got this
I
one.
have all these books actually. It's kind of funny. I bought these like a
Next
long
water
time ago.
becomes Hellcat.
Yeah, so I
Unwinding
like
Thomas
Hellcat.
Cat's superhero suit.
Yeah. So
The
so
fashion,
this is
the fashion
Patsy.
girl.
Yeah, Patsy Walker. So Patsy Walker, for those people that don't know, she is a good girl art character.
Yeah,
She's like kind of this kind of like, sexy character from the 40s. I'm trying to still get her first appearance, which is a pretty pricey book. Um, but she becomes Hellcat, which is kind of funny. I actually have the cat as well. Um,
yeah, I've got the cat. It's a good little
yeah,
series. It's boorish.
yeah, yeah, another one that's really great. So I actually like this book just because I like the character. So
No,
for me,
I
I
like it.
like,
I've just never seen it before. I'd like the cover
yeah.
as well.
This is one that is actually pretty affordable. Like even even the key collector
Yeah,
shows
it
it as
says here
high of
mid.
45.
You can get a mid grade to high grade raw for between $12 and $45. I think if I saw this high grade $40, I think I'd pick it up.
Yeah, you're not going to get it for that price, but I think you'll get it for like anywhere from 50 to 100 would
Okay.
be my guess on it. But it's definitely a book that, I think is a good book because it's actually a really nice cover and it's a cool character.
Yeah, I
And they
like
just
that.
recently came out with a new series for her.
Okay.
So, so there's a
Yeah.
lot going for this book.
One of my favorite books that I picked up this year was actually Patsy Walker's Fashion Parade,
Oh yeah,
written
that's a
by
good book.
Stan Lee.
That's a good book. That's actually a really big. Those books, it's hard to find them complete. A lot of them had paper dolls in
Yeah,
them,
yeah, yeah.
and they get
It's
cut
got
out.
out paper doll where you hang dresses on dolls and
Yeah,
things.
yeah, yeah. And a lot of them got cut out
Yeah,
because they were given to girls,
yeah.
and girls have no respect for comics. I'm putting that out there, and that's my sexist
You need to be
statement for today.
careful, Alan.
Yeah,
You know,
all your female viewers will now like write evil comments about me in the comments, but yeah, no, but I think little girls have a tendency of cutting things out of the books. So um Yeah, there's those Patsy Walkers are quite good to pick up,
Yeah.
actually.
No,
Yeah, they're quite nice.
I couldn't believe it. I found it and one of these auctions I was at, and I looked it up on Go. I thought, what? How much? Yeah, they're quite expensive.
Yeah, they're quite rare too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I've never seen another one.
yeah,
Right. Okay. So that's a good one. I'm definitely a collect on that.
yeah, me too. We agree for once.
We agree on
That's
that
good.
one.
Yeah, we agree.
Right. Next up. Oh, look at this.
A
Lobo is getting
Lobo.
love. Omega Men 3 is finally getting to be worth something.
Yeah, this book, I don't know, it's never been valuable. Even the prices that it's showing here aren't that crazy.
No, but a 9.8 will now set you back nearly $400.
To me, that's actually like I know that this book is fairly common. It was highly
Yeah,
printed.
there's a lot of them. There's about 6,000 on the census.
Yeah, so that's the big thing that's killing this book.
Yeah.
He's on the cover. It's not a bad cover. Um,
I like the cover.
yeah.
I've
So
actually
my
just been
point.
pressing my copies of this because I've got one I think is a 9.8 candidate. So I've got two
Yeah.
copies of this that I bought back in the early 90s because I was a big Lobo fan. And yeah, I pressed them both up. One of them has got just a bit of a dent on the top cover. So
Oh, okay.
it's not going to get a 9.8. But the other one I think is a 9.8 candidate. So I'm going to send it in under a modern tier.
Oh, nice.
Really
Yeah.
great.
So I have this as a 9.2 or 9.4. One of those. It's like a not quite perfect one, but it's slabbed. It's like a
Yeah,
slab
yeah,
copy.
yeah,
But I think I paid $80.
yeah. It's
I was like, oh my goodness, why is this book so like, first Lobo, you'd think like, you see all these other ones that are on this list with these lame characters that we've never heard of, and they're like going for like five, six
I
hundred
know.
bucks.
Lobo's just never taken off. I mean, he was
He
big
never had any love.
in
It's
the
it's
early
weird.
90s. He was quite big, yeah. So
Yeah.
but he's just done nothing since, just sort of uh,
But I always liked Lobo. I thought, the humor in Lobo was quite good.
well, James
Yeah.
Brolin says he wants to play Lobo.
Yeah, and also what's his name? The guy that played Aquaman.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah, he'd be good as well.
Yeah, yeah. I think he looks the part, actually. He looks the part. What's the guy's name?
I can't remember his name. I
Um,
think James Brolin. It looks more like James Brolin's the guy who played Thanos. I think he'd be great playing Lobo.
Maybe. Yeah, I mean, he's a good
Aquaman's
actor
still
too.
going. You can't play two
Well,
existing.
no, well, he did. He was Thanos and he was Cable.
Oh, that's true. Yes, of course. Yeah, yeah, he
So
did.
I debunked your
My
notion.
theory.
But yeah, no, I
I
don't
mean,
know.
for
To
me,
me,
this
this
is
is
a
like a
collect.
collect.
Go
Yeah,
and
a
buy that.
collect.
Go. You can still get this cheap. It's not. It's still not expensive.
Go out and pick it up because it's worthy of having in your collection,
It
just to
is.
have in your collection. It's kind of a cool book.
And I love the
I
cover.
don't get why it's so cheap.
I love this cover. It just appeals to me. It's all these oranges and this light appearing between those
And this
legs.
crazy girl on the cover, and
So yeah, go out and collect this one. This is
it's a
definitely
bondage cover too, which is kind of nice.
yeah. Even if she's been bonded to an intergalactic motorbike, right?
Yeah.
Okay, the last one on the list, Alan. You know what this is,
Okay.
don't you?
Yeah. So this one,
This,
obviously,
this has been
I
on the
think,
list a couple of times now.
yeah,
Just gone
it's
loopy. This did
yeah.
nothing. This did
This
nothing.
was a dead book.
This was dead
Dead book
for
a
years,
year ago.
years and years and years and years. It sat there, did nothing.
No, actually, that's not quite true. What happened was, they kept on making really bad Star Trek movies, or not movies, but TV series,
Yeah.
and people just hated Star Trek after a while. You know, like you get like Michael and all these kind of crappy captains, right? Like, um, you know, people started hating Star Trek because it kind of went off course. Um, and I think the recent one of whatever it's what is it called?
Abrams, the film series from
Not the film series, the recent one that came out,
oh yeah, the
Brave New Worlds, or
yeah, that was good. Yeah, I thought it was all right.
I think people liked it,
Yeah,
and the sort of like the fans are desperate. The fans want this to come back. It's sort of like Star Wars. Star Wars number one was a dead book for the longest time because of the bad movies.
Captain
Then
Pike.
Mandalorian,
Captain Pike, the last series was about.
yeah, yeah. So then Mandalorian comes out, and then Star Wars books went crazy. Well, there is a fan base out there for Star Trek and Star Wars and all these kind of TV related books, um, that are desperate for something good to be made. And if something ever is good made about it, then the books will become hot again. So I think there was something reasonable made about it. So I think this book will kind of go up again.
Yeah,
So
I mean, this is yeah, and this one has been breaking records, Alan. The other ones are all sort of increases over averages. This one's actually selling at record prices across a different.
yeah, no, that's the surprising thing.
Yeah. So,
But it was undervalued for a long time. I think there was about maybe 10 years where it was kind of not going anywhere. It was just sort of a dead commodity, maybe even going down. Like it was just like
yeah,
so
I have a 5-0 signed by
I know.
Tim Kirk himself.
And you already said you're going to trade that with me for my 4-0 copy. So that I thought that was a really nice thing on your part. And so yeah.
I did say that unsigned copies were rarer than signed copies, but
Yeah, I can imagine. Because yeah, everyone wants to get William Shatner to sign their copy,
well,
right?
exactly. And he's been around for so long and he goes to so many conventions that
Yeah,
about
yeah,
half the available copies have all been signed by him.
yeah. No, I mean it's still cool. I actually ran into him when I was at the airport once. Like, well, not actually. I saw him.
You saw
He
him,
was like walking by.
yeah.
I was like trying to chase after him to get a photo, and like yeah, but it didn't happen. But yeah, very cool. I love this book. I'm a big Star Trek fan, so this is for me a collect just because of the nostalgic element. I have two copies of this. One is very bad. The other is a 4.0.
I mean, what I'd say is, yeah, for me, this is definitely a collect. What I'd say to
Mhm.
you as well is go and get the rest of the Gold Key Star Trek series. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah,
the
I mean, it's one of those series
photo
that's
covers,
undervalued.
the photo covers in particular. I think the photo
Yeah,
cover went on to about issue 12 or something. Uh,
yeah.
so, and these first issues, they have got photos on the back. So
Yeah,
this
I
one,
know the backs are quite nice.
yeah, this one has a photo of Captain Kirk.
Oh, Kirk on the back. Yeah.
Yeah, so the first few issues are great because you haven't got an advert on the back; you've got a photo cover on
Hmm.
the back. So yeah, so I would recommend not only this one but also probably the first 10 or 12 issues of this series where they have the photo covers.
And also get the last issue of the series. It's a bit rare. I have the
Rarer,
whole
it's
run.
rarer, and it's one of the most awful covers.
Yeah, it is pretty bad actually. I give you that. Yeah, so I have the complete run. And it's definitely like I was quite happy to get this complete run. It's a cool. I think it's 63 issues.
63. I think that's about right. I think you
Yeah,
hit it on the head there. There's about 63. I think I've got about 45 of them. I haven't got a
yeah.
complete run.
Definitely a very cool series. I mean, and you know, it had sort of the same episodic storytelling, you
Yeah.
know, and that's what I actually liked about the original Star Trek. In a way, now one of the things that bothers me about a lot of series is that it's a series. that it's like it's not like episodic. It's like I kind of like it where they go to some cool planet, they have some crazy cool adventure, and then next week they're
It's
gonna
the
go to
new one.
some other crazy planet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I kind of like that. I wish they would go back to that.
I think the latest one was episodic.
I haven't watched the latest one.
But I am watching because it's on the one pay thing that I don't subscribe to.
Me too. That's the thing. I might find it on some streaming
Yeah,
channel
it's
or
on
something.
Sky, and I don't pay for Sky, so I have to wait for
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
But my understanding it was episodic with maybe one or two themes running through the entire thing, but
Mhm.
yeah, largely episodic. Back to hope, and everybody obeyed the rules of the of
What's it
Starfleet.
called? The first Prime Directive.
Yeah, there was none of this going off doing stupid things like
That Michael girl.
Michael Gill did.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, she was terrible. So yeah. But yeah, this book I definitely would collect it. And I think it's basically what we're seeing is not that it's spiking in price, but it's actually getting to where it's probably back to where it should be, in line with where it should have been, had there been good shows made like for the last little while. But yeah, so it's a good one.
Yeah, and
Cool.
it's been on this list 3 times now, so it's
Yeah.
suddenly caught the imagination. People have just sort of gone, yeah, Star Trek. Why is that so cheap? Why is it?
Yeah, yeah.
Star Wars #1. It's just crazy, and this is much earlier than Star Wars #1.
Yeah. It's 1967.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I think people have just sort of got clicked, and now they've seen it on this list, and it's just on a roll.
Yeah, no, I don't know. For me, it's always been a collect. It was one of the big grails that I went for. Like when I first got back into, like when I sort of got into comics, it was one of the ones I chased after because I was a big Star Trek fan. And so I've overpaid for my original copy. And
Okay, well, we agreed far more on the 5 on my channel. I think we agreed
yeah,
on all of them. We didn't agree on
wow.
hardly any on the first 5 on this
Yeah,
channel.
we were all over the place. Okay, so yeah, so
Yeah, so there you go. That's your lot. See you again next week. I'm not sure what we'll be doing. It'll probably might involve Christmas.
Mhm.
So we'll see you again next week. Bye, Alan.
Bye.